Welcome everybody, my name is Richard and here at RSEV, of course, all about electric cars. So why are there 3 4x4s behind me? Well, these are plug-in hybrids, but actually with decent big electric batteries. They've got better and better over the years. So now they've got a meaningful, usable range on electric only, and they don't even need to turn the engine on for a lot of your daily commute or driving. So they are getting better. And as I happen to have these 3 vehicles available today, let's give you a run through of what I think about them, the pros and cons of each, what you can expect for real world range and efficiency, of course. So first, the Volvo XC90 here. It's been around a few years now, but actually it's only the more recent one. So this is a 2022 car, and onwards get a bigger battery, 18.8 kilowatt hours. So a fair size battery, and it's the only one of these that actually has 7 seats as well. So if you need a 7-seater 4x4, well, this is going to be the one for you. The earlier cars had a smaller battery, about 13 kilowatt hours, which meant you didn't really have that much usable range. It meant you were just plugging it in all the time, and meant the efficiency wasn't brilliant. Now this larger battery is good. In real world range, I've managed to do 40 miles on this, electric only. So for someone like me commuting, say 15 miles to work and back each day, it's electric only and the engine doesn't need to come on. When it does come on though, it's a 2-litre turbo and supercharged engine. So 2 litre doesn't sound much, but coupled to the electric motor power as well, it's got 455 horsepower and it's good for 0 to 60 in 4.5 seconds. Can you believe it, from a big thing like this? It's unbelievable. So it's a very fast car, but actually normally it's a lovely luxury wafty car, and you can drive it along in nice, smooth, quiet electric power for nearly all of the time. When you get onto a motorway, or if you're driving it without electric power, I've still been getting in the low 30s miles per gallon, somewhere between 30 and 35, just driving normally without trying too hard, but when it's run out of its electric only power. So the benefit of the electric really is that you can plug it in, do most of your commuting on electric only, and it can be very cheap. 10,000 miles worth of the electric driving is going to cost a couple £100, maybe 250 at the most in your electric bill if you get cheap overnight energy. And then you've got, of course, the odd fuel tank top up as well. So it's all going to depend how you drive. But this is a very nice car with 7 seats, plug-in hybrid. So this is a GLE 350 DE. It's a plug-in hybrid. It's got the biggest battery here, over 31 kilowatt hours of battery size for driving in electric only mode. It's the biggest one of this trio. And remember the original Nissan Leaf, 24 kilowatt hours, and it went to 30. Well, it's got over 31 kilowatt hours of battery. So it's got the biggest range. I'd say about 60 miles of electric only driving with this car, and a big, lovely luxury Mercedes GLE it is as well. Now this is quite interesting. It's got actually fast charging. The other cars have a Type 2 charger. You normally just plug them in, charge overnight. This car you can actually CCS rapid charge, although in the UK it's probably fairly pointless because DC fast charging is quite expensive and you're probably better off just putting some diesel in it. But it is really the only plug-in hybrid of this category which is diesel. We normally have petrol cars, and it's a 2-litre diesel engine. So it's the slowest of the trio, but 0 to 60 is still under 7 seconds. It doesn't hang around, and being a Mercedes, it's lovely and smooth and refined. You can get a 7-seat GLE if it's a non-plug-in hybrid, but on a plug-in hybrid, it's 5-seater only. So again, we'll come on to a bit more of that in a minute. However, driving this on a motorway journey without any electric charge in it, I actually managed to get 40 miles per gallon. So it is one car here where even when your battery driving runs out, of which this has got the most, and about 60 miles, the engine itself is actually reasonably efficient, delivering about 40 miles per gallon. Real world, could even do better. So it's quite an impressive combination. And this is the BMW X5 45e. Now been around 3 or 4 years. I rather like these. I've actually done a couple of videos on these before. Now plug-in hybrid videos don't tend to do that well on our channel because we're about electric cars. But I actually did a video about towing with this car as well as a general review. And it's a very nice car to drive. So this has got a 24 kilowatt hour battery. I've easily been able to get a real world range of about 50 miles from this car. So it sits right in between the other two, kind of 40 miles on the Volvo, 60 miles on the Mercedes, but about 50 miles on the X5 45e. This has got a straight 6 petrol engine, 3-litre. It's got a lot of grunt to it. So it's not just a 2-litre engine, a 3-litre engine. It sounds great. And again, it's a 0 to 60 in under 5 seconds car. Very, very quick when you're using it. But with electric only, again, smooth, wafty, refined air suspension standard on this. So it's a BMW that handles like a BMW, drives really well. plenty of grunt to it, and a very good, decent, real-world electric range. As I've seen more of these coming through our showroom in recent months, a lot of them, interestingly, they show the factory long-term trips, and it's not unusual to see that they've covered half their total mileage purely on electric alone. And I think now we've got these bigger batteries, that's where I've been sort of thinking, actually, this is pretty good. You're getting cars that may have covered 40, 50, 60,000 miles, but half of that's been on electric alone. The engine hasn't been on, which means the engine needs less maintenance, which means the engines last longer. And of course, the battery and electric side of things tends to need very little maintenance as well. Right, let's get inside these cars and show you a little bit more about the interiors. So I'm trying to keep this video brief, so I won't go through everything, but the interior of the Volvo here is a very nice place to be. It could be a conventional petrol diesel car. We've got a large screen here with Google Mapping. It integrates really well. It's very solid, very well made, some lovely touches, and it's just a nice place to be. You've got a good digital display there with mapping. You've got Google Mapping on here. The screen isn't massive, but it's just a good size actually to use easily and nicely. It's very good to use. Sound system's good. The seats are very comfortable. It's a lovely car to drive. I thought this might be a bit bigger, sort of feeling and wafty and wallowy and not handled, but honestly, this car is actually a really nice balance. So out of these three cars, I don't think this one has air suspension, but it rides nicely, but also handles nicely. I was really surprised about how precise this car can handle, how agile it can feel. It doesn't wallow around the bend, so a very impressive package, this car indeed, actually. What about rear space? Getting in the back of the XC90, loads of space behind me. I kind of feel like I'm sat just that little bit of a tier higher, so I've actually still got quite a good view behind the driver. Foot space, knee space, tons of headroom, it's all good. Unique feature of this car is we've got a little pop-up booster seat there, which is handy for children. I've got some climate adjustment here, power source as well, some ventilation here, so I've got plenty of air that can come to me. Tons of space. There is a bit of transmission tunnel here, and it's got a bit of matting on the top, so kids could put their feet on it there and not kick it to death, but comfortable place to be. I'm interested to see though how easy it is to get in these rear two seats. Okay, so the seat tips and moves forwards on rails, and let's see what it's like for space in the back here. Okay, and then that locks in, but I guess I think the passenger there would have to slide it back. So let me move to this side and I can sit here. Okay, look, there's not much room for my feet, pass me that, so I'm 6 foot tall, and my knees are touching the seat in front and my feet are sort of wedged in, but I could be in this car for a little while. It's not too uncomfortable, it's okay. It's not as big as a Land Rover Discovery, but it's bigger than a lot of 7-seaters, but certainly for kids, be fine in the back here. So in the back of the XC90, with the seats up, there's actually still a bit of usable space. It's actually probably slightly better than Land Rover Discovery in that regard. There's a bit of storage under the floor here where you can put some cables. There's a divider here, which is probably more useful if you've got these seats folded. And then the boot looks like this. You can put that up and you can put your shopping bag on there or your takeaways. It doesn't go everywhere. Nice little touch, I like that. And then you've got this nice big boot here, plenty long enough, can reach in, and I can fold those seats down and make it even bigger. Shall I do the box test? Maybe. Might get the boxes out in a minute and give some comparisons there. This Mercedes is slightly different inside. It's got one screen that goes right across like this, but it's nice and easy to use. And actually I really like, it's got like an augmented overlay navigation. It's lovely to use. Lots of ambient light at night, of course, like we do in modern Mercedes. It feels solid. It's very smooth, it's air suspension, and if you like a Mercedes to drive, you like this. It's your typical Mercedes smooth wafty. It does have quite a lot of electric only power, so even in electric only mode it seems to pick up really well. You know that it's surging forward. But then when they have the diesel engine come in, the diesel is the coarsest of all these. So when the engine is on, you know about it a little bit more because it's just a diesel engine, and of course that jogs away a little bit in the background. It's not intrusive, it's not a bad thing, and it's a very refined diesel engine, but it's not as smooth and refined as the others in that regard. Space in the back, well, let's get my seat in position, I'll let you know. Look at the back of the GLE, it's like a limo. I've got acres of knee room and leg room. I'm really stretching out. This is a ridiculous amount of space in the back here. Easily the best out of all these, I think. It feels like this seat's been pushed right forward, but it hasn't. Yeah. Okay, so loads of space in the back of a GLE. And that would be useful if you've got people with long legs, or you've got the child seat that's quite big and the kids' legs stick out. They probably couldn't even reach the seat in front to annoy you and kick this seat. There's not too much to speak about. This particular example, I don't have rear climate control, for example. I've got a USB power source, but it is just notably spacious. Some of these cars are 7-seater, but you can't have the 7 seats for this GLE because that's where the battery sits, basically under the boot floor there. So it's a 5-seater only if you're going for this plug-in hybrid, but a very spacious 5-seater it is. So the back of the Mercedes, yeah, big boot, nice square load area, no button to fold the seats, but there is a button here which can lower the rear air suspension just to make this loading easier. There's no storage under the floor, so if you want to have your cables with you, they're going to be in a bag in the boot. But to be honest, like if it was me in my car, I have my wall charger at home with the cable connected to that, so I don't really need to carry that around. I can't fold the seats from here, but I can actually just lean forward and push that forward there and have an almost flat but very large load area. Let's get the boxes in a minute. I want to know now. Okay, inside the BMW, it kind of feels like the most plush somehow. The materials are nice, this leather's very good. It feels very nice, very BMW. If you like your BMWs, you'll like this. Also, it rides really nicely. So some X5s used to be pretty firm, but air suspension is standard on the 45E, and it is height adjustable as well, but it gives it this beautiful ride comfort, very nice indeed, but still handles like a BMW. So it's got very nice, agile handling, just a lovely car to drive, very refined, very smooth. Apple CarPlay integration, as ever with BMW, is very good. Comes up on the driver's display here and a head-up display if you have the option. And the Sky Lounge panoramic roof, if that's been optioned like this one here, we've got good light effects at night. It's very impressive. It's just a very nice car to drive. It's hard to sort of think that a car that this big, this heavy, can handle as well as this does and ride as well as this does. So it's just very good, to be honest. It just is. Okay, so me sitting comfortably. How's the space behind me? Let's have a look. So again, notably easy to get in and out of, very nice. I've got a little bit less space under the seat in front than I would like, but I can get my feet under, and I do have adequate knee room. Again, I feel like I'm just sitting a little bit higher than the front passengers, so I got a reasonable view out. I've got the door kind of comes in a little bit more than the others. I think the bench is quite nice and flat though, so to have somebody sat in the middle doesn't feel like they're sitting on a lump, although you do sit a little bit higher, but it's a sort of flatter seat bench here. And the space is pretty good. It's okay. It's nowhere near the GLE, and it's probably the smallest in the back of these three, but it's comfortable for adults, certainly, absolutely fine. The back of the X5's got this split tailgate, which I really like to have actually. So I live next to the New Forest, and we go walking, and you take your wellies on and off, so you've got somewhere to sit here without scratching the back bumper. So having this split tailgate is really good. There is a sort of little bit of underfloor storage there, enough to put your cables out of the way, so that's handy. And it actually slopes up ever so slightly there, but you can barely notice it. And it's quite a nice square load area, of course. And of course, we'll put the seats down, and we'll compare the size of some boxes in a minute. The other thing this example has here, like the Volvo actually, an electric deployable tow bar. It'll be options on all of these cars. But whilst we're talking about towing, this might be one of the reasons you would choose one of these cars. So the X5 45E here can tow 2.7 tons, so that's pretty decent. The Volvo XC90 2.4 tons, pretty decent, but yeah, limited compared to some. It depends on the size of caravans, but that's a hefty weight. However, the Mercedes GLE for towing capacity, if it's a factory fitted tow bar, then it can tow 3.5 tons. So it's a plug-in hybrid with the ability to tow a full 3.5 tons, and it has a good electric only range. If it's a retrofitted tow bar, it can still tow 2.7 tons though, so it matches the X5. So we've got to do a box test really, haven't we? So this is with seats up, and again, these are the large removal boxes from a well-known furniture store. I could compare putting bicycles in, I could compare suitcases, everyone's going to pick something else. I can't be here all day trying lots of different things, but we've got these handy boxes to use. So 3 across there gives a good indication of width, so a bit of spare space there. And then I can get another box up here with the seats down. So probably, there we go, 4 boxes with the seats up in the X5. I like how the back seats are damped. Shame there isn't a release on the side there for the seats in the X5, but when you release them here, they've got a little bit of damping so they don't just slam down. Now, they don't quite fold flat here, so let's see what we've got, but I'll take the parcel shelf out for this second test. So with the seats down, I think I can fit 12 IKEA boxes in this X5. Let's see how we do with the others. It's up in a GLE. I can get 4 boxes in. It does that quite happily. I can't quite get a 5th box in though. So again, it's 4 with the seats up. Let's put seats down. Okay, the GLE's big. It's actually wide enough to get these 4 boxes across here. So I'm going to show you that bit. So you've got 4, 2 on top, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then a 12th one, again with loads of space around it at the end here, but I can't think of quite a way to get the extra box because that layer there would finish there. So it's 12 and kind of heading towards 13, but not quite. In our scientific box measurement, boot size comparison. IKEA boxes in a Volvo. So with all 7 seats, I can still get one of these boxes. It's quite close to getting 2 boxes actually, but we just tried it and the boot doesn't quite shut with these like this. So with all 7 seats, 1 box. They fold down easy enough. You don't have to move the seat bases. So let's compare width. Wait for the comments. Yes, not bad at all. So with 5 seats in place, the Volvo can still take 7. So it's not quite Land Rover Discovery in height, but it is big and you can get plenty in. Let's try with all the seats down. And as they fold, the bottom bit moves a bit as well. And that again that's pretty much flat, isn't it? They look like Land Rover Discovery when they're folded. So like the GLE, there's enough width to get 4 of them going across there. And so it's an impressive 15 boxes for the Volvo. It's almost like it's designed for it. Very good. Okay, so let's wrap up this video. Again, I wanted to keep this fairly brief, not just kind of loads of driving shots and music and stuff. So let's try and summarise it. BMW X5, I think, is probably the nicest one to drive. Nice balance of everything, good range, good ride, lovely handling, nice luxury interior as well, lovely car. GLE, big thing, don't underestimate the size of it. It's got the best efficiency because you'll get the most out of the electric only range, 60 odd miles, but then the engine itself is a diesel 2 litre, pretty efficient, so you can get the best efficiency out of this, and it's a big car, loads of rear legroom as well. But if you need ultimate space, the Volvo XC90 has that. It's the only one with 7 seats. It's got a big boot, very square, very practical, also lovely to drive. They're all very nice to drive. I don't think you'd be disappointed with either. So as I often say, it's different horses for different courses. It's going to depend what you need and what your priorities are. But they're all very good cars with decent usable range, and that's the key thing. Most of the time they can be driven on electric only. So that's the key thing, is getting less emissions out of these cars, and they're proven to be very good at that. So I hope that's been a useful comparison. Let me know in the comments below if you've got one of these cars, what you think of it, how much you've enjoyed it or not liked it. I look forward to reading comments. Like the video if you found it useful, and hopefully you can subscribe and make sure you see us on another video very soon. It's getting cold out here now, so I'm going, but I hope that's good. Thank you, bye.